Hi everybody! Just wanted to send you in a quick story about what I'm doing here in Latvia. I just I just finished staffing a DTS. We got done about 2 weeks ago. We had a graduation, and before that I was in Russia and Poland and Estonia with the outreach. And so I just want to tell you one story from our time actually in between traveling from one location to the next. We were in Estonia, and we didn't know where to go because we had to get Russian visas, and so we had an extra 10 days and we weren't sure what to do with it, and so we were praying to God and we were asking what to do, and we felt like He said, like He was speaking to us to go to Poland. We'd heard different things about the situation with YWAM there and that it was struggling a little bit, so we were interested to go ourselves and see and try and support them. And so we text the guy, and they're super open, and we get there and we actually ask him, like, why, like, what happened? They said, and the pastor of this one church where we were, he said that actually they had a YWAM DTS outreach team there the year before around the same time, and he would actually the day before have been praying and asking God, it'd be pretty cool if some team could come at this time as well. And then we texted them the next day, and so it was really cool. But on our way there, we actually had a stop in Riga for a couple days, and we had a few days off, and so we were just walking around the city. We needed to go pick up our Russian visas because after our time in Poland, we'd head to Russia. And so we pick up our Russian visas, and it's a huge process, and it was a real big pain all the way through. And so I said, well, we're gonna go out for food. So we went out and got kebab, which is fast food. It's delicious. I think, yeah, you have some there. You didn't have it there when I was there, but now you have it there. But it's amazing. So we had passed this kebab restaurant on our way to the visa office. And so we actually stop in, and I said, find out later it's actually quite a famous, really good kebab place. So we're sitting, we're eating our kebab, and as we're sitting there, a couple of Mormons walk in. And if you don't know about me, I love Mormons. I think they're amazing people, and I always try to meet and talk with them if I see them outside of the States, because they're really, they're not allowed to talk to their family very often. They're not allowed to talk to their, girlfriends, and they're not allowed to go to the movies or do fun things, so I always try to talk to them because I'm foreigners, they're foreigners, And so, funny thing is though, one of these Mormons had actually met one of our students previously on the train, and so we were all there, and she told us about him because she thought he was cute, and it was hilarious. And so I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to invite them over to sit with us, and she thought I was joking. And so I stand up and I walk over and I talk to them and I invite them to sit with us. I get their names. I find out where they're from. One was from England. One was from the States. One from Arizona. And she's so embarrassed. And it was hilarious. And so we leave. We're walking out. And we're walking back to the center to go to the bus station and go back to where we're staying. And as we're walking, we pass this one homeless lady. And a couple weeks ago, I had actually met her while doing street evangelism with a guy from the church I go to. And so we walk past her, and then I'm like, I should stop and actually talk to her. And so we walk back, and I stop, and she doesn't speak English, she speaks Russian mostly. And so I have a translator, and we get to talk, and the students get talking to her, and we talk to what's going on, and she says, well, life's been hard since, she accepted Jesus a couple months ago, and she says things haven't really changed. She doesn't know what she has to go to the doctor, and she's not able to pay for it, and unless she gets this thing from the doctor, she can't get a job. So one of our students walks to the ATM to go get some money, and so I go show her where it is. And as we're walking there, I see one of my old students from a previous school, and this is a girl who I'd been actually trying to meet with many times, and I had never had the opportunity to. And we run into each other, and she's free for the evening, and so she invites us over. We walk back to that lady. Her name was Galia, which in Latvian means meat, but in Russian it's Galina. It's a very, very common woman's name. And so we walk back to her, and our student gives her the money, and she's crying, and we pray for her. Our students have been praying for her while we were in there, and then I get to go over and spend a wonderful evening with one of my friends, drinking tea, who I hadn't seen in a very long time. And I just, it had actually been a long time since I'd had an experience like this. I love coincidences. Sometimes, that's how I know God's moving, and it was really fun that day. I knew that God used us to encourage this Galina, and that God, for me, meeting Mormons is just always so much fun, and that was actually kind of a blessing for me. And at the same time, I got to also meet a friend of mine and hang out with her, and I was just really thankful. And it just shows me, it was like bam, 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 bam. God was moving and working, and I knew God all the time, of course. But for me, that was probably one of the biggest times this outreach, when I was like, oh man, God is following us and doing things. Yeah, thank you. I want to continue to do this every month. I think I have enough stories, but if I don't, I can just always ramble. But it's nice to hear about how things are doing with you guys. And yeah, you're still my church family, and I still love keeping up with you guys on Facebook. So if you, are interested or anything, feel free to text or call anytime. I will respond. Always. But yeah, thank you. Love you guys. Have a nice weekend. Hope your spring is wonderful and that all the snow leaves soon. Bye.